vote and then who's next? Like, why you can never go around?
I do Kenny Motorino, Devil's Digest. After watching the film, what did you make of the offensive inconsistency, scoring 22 points in one quarter, and only three in the other?
Yeah, I mean, early in the game, too many mistakes. You know, the first drive and a half, like, we MA on the first play. That can't happen. Like, we can't do that. Us as staff got to be better at that so that doesn't happen. And then we obviously had those, project those drives in the middle of the game, second quarter. Then to start the third quarter, we get the ball on the minus inch. We go 65 yards. Like, that's a heck of a drive from the minus inch. Right? It doesn't equate to points, but it's a heck of a drive. And then we, fumble a fourth and inches. It's like crap. And that was our drive in the third quarter. And then we moved the ball down the field two other times. Two of our other three drives kicked field goals and stalled out. So it wasn't like we were going 3 and out. One big TFL and I think a zone read that was pulled, and you got behind the sticks. But our productivity on early downs is not our problem. It's we just can't finish drives. If you look at all of our right now our stats, because that's why stats are useless, is we're productive moving the football. We don't score, right? And that's a problem. And this week it was fourth and inches, and, we can't convert. Last week it's sometimes whether it's a 2 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks ago, whenever we put Iowa State, it was holding, right, when we tried to score. So, like, it's a different thing every week, which is the unfortunate part. But we are moving the ball, which is usually the hardest thing to do, right? So hopefully we can figure this out. Yeah, I think he's going to start back to his running progression this week, where he's actually like running back to try to get back to play. What that means for the game, I don't know yet. We've got to see that progression and what it looks like. Not 70% running, but like starting to run. Right now, what you see on the sideline, sometimes everyone gets excited, but like truly moving to play the game. So we'll see what that looks like. And like I said, after the game, I want to make sure we progress him back. And I think the speed, best for him to be 100% if he comes back, or whenever that happens. Yeah, I didn't watch the tape. I saw him live for a little bit when I was at Oregon. We played him, and he's just so twitchy. His acceleration was like, oh my gosh, that dude could separate. And that always stuck with me, was his ability to separate. And I think you saw that, and you've seen that here, is just his special ability to separate. I mean, nothing other than tell them, like, this random person, can say whatever he wants, and he may not even be a person. Like, okay, cool. I don't know. Like, if you look at that stuff and you want to look at that stuff, great. You just got to be ready for the negative, because it's never good enough. That's the problem. The world wants to see you fail. 90% of people want to see you fail, so it's never good enough. Everybody should be fired. Everybody sucks. Nothing is ever good. You win games, you still lost them, right? According to some people, like, you play great at a position, you still sucked because of the one play, right? That was on social media. So I think if you get trapped in that, I try to teach the guys to not get trapped in that and to stay focused on how do we get better, and singularly focused on that, and hopefully we don't get as distracted by the other. I'm a little confused, to be honest. Glazier, like the coaching clinic? Oh, gosh, I gotcha. Awesome. Is it all positive? Bring more. Bring it on, baby. How many? We got 107 kids on the team. We're 60, what? That means we're 67 shy. If you said we had 40 or whatever you said.
Following up Chris's stuff from Saturday with NIL, after listening to your answer, are you more positive than you were? It sounded a little bit like you were a little not sure about the direction of NIL and the school's backing of you, and now you're more sure? Can you kind of explain the process throughout that weekend?
Yeah, I mean, I had a meeting on Friday with, some people with the school and some people associated with ASU athletics. And I left that meeting knowing that the university is going to be very, very supportive of the football program and that we're going to have the backing of the university just to be as successful and to be a competitive and successful program. And, I try to say the truth. So, like, if I say something and then, that truth changes or, I want it out there that the university and the president and the athletic department is backing football. I think that's important. I don't know if I've ever publicly come out and said that. I've always said I want to be better. They are supporting us. I think where we're still missing is we're still missing in the local businesses. We're still missing in the big donor base. Our casual fans, unbelievable. Sold out every game. That's unbelievable. Are you kidding? The sold out crowds. It's loud. Like people on the radio are talking about us. We're activating the 99%. Right, we are. It's awesome. Like this year has been remarkable from that perspective. The university is now doubling down. They're in. Where we're still missing, and it's such a vital piece, is the city, the businesses in the city, and the big-time high-end donor base. That's where we're still searching to get connected here in some way, shape, or form. And I haven't done a good enough job creating that connection yet. But from a fan perspective, from 99% of people we are in an unbelievable direction, and the university is 100% behind it.
A couple of predecessors ago, yours told me once you spent too much time trying to change academia and move things forward and not enough on football. How are you move a lot faster than academia does and or support from a university. How are you doing balancing everything that it entails to be a 2025 football?
Yeah. It's a lot. Don't sleep as much. You just got to keep going. There's not much downtime. It's not, you don't just get to sit there and relax very often. You got to, solve this problem, solve that problem, go get this fixed. Obviously I'd love to do more football, but, when you're building something, you got to build it with the most important things and the things that you can actually stand on through the test of time. I said it, I think, after my game. My job is to build a program, not a team. Right? And then my job is to coach the team. And our coach's job is to coach the team, but I'm trying to build a program. So I kind of have two jobs at the same time, right? I'm building a program while also coaching a team. And there is a fine balance there.
Hey, Kenny, Julia Lopez with Arizona's Family. Just going off of what Doug was saying, what businesses are you guys trying to get with you guys to just represent you guys?
Everyone. If our play, I'll give you I can't say specific sometimes because there's corporate sponsorship, conflict, and I can't get into it. But there's local businesses here that I truly believe have elevated their platform by naming food items after our players. And they're now all over, potentially. There's opportunity for real NIL here where our players are being branded. Your company is seeing that. You see the support. The community wants to go support you because you're supporting the athlete. And we can do that at such a high scale. Every restaurant, if you don't have a food item named after an Arizona State Sun Devil, why? I don't get it. $500 a month, $1,000 a month, right? It's a business expense because it's a marketing expense, right? If you're a local company and you want to engage community, or if you're a new business and you want to get people involved, what better way to get your brand out there to the city than utilizing our players? So everybody thinks this is like a race to I can't give a $70,000, $700,000 deal. No, We have a city behind us. If every restaurant in our city gave a kid a $500 or $1,000 a month deal to advertise them for them, I don't know the math behind the amount of restaurants, but I feel like we'd be in a good spot. And I know we're not going to get all of them, but what if we got 25% of them, right? And I think that's the last piece of this thing that, and I'm never satisfied. I want to keep pushing, right? But I do want to say, like, the university has, they've been very, very supportive. Now the fan base has been unbelievably supportive. Now it's okay, this last step. How can we work it together to where the local businesses, successful people in the Valley want to see us succeed? Because our success leads to more success in local business. That's all it is. I mean, we're a revenue generator for the city. So if you're a local business guy and you have nothing to do with Arizona State, well, our success can help your business, and our success helps the city that you live in. Right? So how do we work together with each other to take this next step of the program? Because I think we've taken steps in really activating the Valley. I think that's that final piece, and it's every single business. It's not just restaurants. It's car companies, right? It's literally everything can get involved.
And then you mentioned just how many players you want to have a chip on their shoulder. Just how fitting is it that you have these guys that were overlooked and you guys are now turning to them to, take over this team and lead this team?
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome to watch guys step up when they get their opportunity. And that's the unique part is usually when you have a lot of injuries to key players, close games don't go your way. It's usually how it works, right? Well, somehow close games are going our way because our players are just so connected still. That in those moments, and to see those new guys step in and step up is pretty cool to watch.
Chris Cartman, son of a source, somewhat related, I guess, to the NIL thing is there's only going to be one transfer portal window now in winter, and it's a couple weeks in January. You have a lot that needs to get accomplished, I would imagine, given how many seniors that you have on the roster that are going to be departing. How do you feel about having only this one period, and how would you summarize what all needs to get accomplished?
Yeah, I don't know yet until after. I'll tell you if I like it or not. I know it's going to be chaotic. I do like the fact that, you have time to figure out what you need in the portal. So you're kind of, you're making sure your guys want to stay here and putting all your time and effort into your own team first in December, and then you can say, okay, these are the needs that we have. You can educate your team on the needs. You can have real conversations. Listen, we're going to go take blank in the portal if you guys come back. If one more person wants to move elsewhere, then we're going to have to take this amount in the portal. So you can have really honest conversations with your guys about the future so everybody can make the best decision for themselves. And then you can go to the portal with a plan and hopefully execute on that plan. But that's going to be that January time is going to be very, very chaotic in college football.
What about with school starting, like around the time that the portal ends, and there's going to be kids visiting and all? How do you make all that work?
Yeah, the school is going to be. I haven't talked about this one yet, but I would assume the school is going to be really supportive to help us get guys in late. Skip does an unbelievable job. The head of academics for us. His family's worked in football their entire lives. And he does a really good job helping get guys into school, even if they're a couple days late to the semester. And then we also have, we have three types we have A, B, and C. So if we couldn't get a guy in a certain semester, we have little mini-mesters within our semesters. So we could always try to get somebody in a second or a later semester within the semester. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Hopefully we just get guys in faster. But the school and the size of the school and the resources the school has being online definitely helps us get guys in.
And one more question on this. Without revealing whatever secrets that you don't want to give away, we're in a rev share era, and teams have to have a good idea of the valuations that they have for guys that are in the portal and all that. So what is the behind-the-scenes process to make sure that you guys are ready to hit the ground running when that happens? Yeah,
it's hard to do a ton in advance because nobody has the staff, or I shouldn't say nobody, I don't know everybody's situation, but it's nearly impossible to be able to go through every single college football team at all levels and say that we've evaluated everybody and we have them ranked. In the NFL, you have your 32 teams, and you can have your, everybody on all the rosters, you can have an eval for with your entire department. So if somebody goes into free agency, right, that's easy. It's not the same in college. In college, it's like a mad dash to evaluate people and to call people to get information. And so it's a combination of, do you have enough connections that you can trust to lean on just as much as it is your evaluations? It's the people in your building calling the people you trust and them just not selling you a bag of goods, them telling you the truth about somebody or a situation. So it's kind of by the seat of your, just flying. And you start to know who's going to go in the portal. I mean, sometimes now, and middle of December, early December, I think there's going to be a huge wave of people that announce it, so you can start at least watching film. Can't contact, but you can at least watch tape.
Hey, Kenny, Damon Allred, Arizona Sports. With the emphasis that you've placed on moving people in the trenches, and then you have kind of the development that you've had this season where 3 offensive linemen get named to the PFF Big 12 Team of the Week last week, and then on defense with the goal line stands as well. Just what's been the key to that turnaround this season?
Yeah, I mean, games are won at the line of scrimmage. Very, very simple. I think we've practiced a little more physical. We've talked about it. I think our D-line has done a good job stopping the run most of the year. We've had a couple games in there where there's been some schemes and some runs that has given us problems. But when it's man versus man, I think most of the time we've done a solid job. And then offensively, it was good to see the offensive line play well. Thought that was our best game in pass protection by far. And then we were firing off the ball a little bit better. That's a team that moves so much that it's hard to get your targets right because all the movements. And but our ability to set and pass protect was, I think, a critical thing in the game.
Hey, Coach. Ryan Myers, Devil's Digest. Talking about the transfer portal stuff that we've been talking about all day so far, with Jeff being a guy who could have left at the end of at last season but didn't and chose to stay, do you kind of maybe take some of his story as a success story to take to other people in a way of like, hey, that if you stay here, opportunity arises. There's a chance to make something out of it in the way that maybe somebody like Jeff did? Not
really. I'm very big on, what do you want? I want people who want to be here. If a kid in our team doesn't want to be here, he shouldn't be here. This isn't a hostage situation, right? And I don't ever want that to be. I want our culture to be guys who chose to be here, not tricked to be here, not, very good sales pitch to be here. No, I want to be here. This is where I want to be. There's no other place I'd want to be. This is it. And so, no, I really don't get into all that with guys. I'll give them, the facts of the questions that they're asking me, but I'm never going to sell them on one direction or not. If they ask my opinion, I'll give them my opinion, give them my honest opinion, but I'm not going to give my opinion unless they ask, right? My job as a college, in my opinion, is to help these guys succeed, right? So if somebody asks me a question, I'm going to give them the right answer. If that's good for ASU, great. If that's bad for ASU, that sucks. But the last thing I want is to trick a kid to stay here, because even though in the temporary that sounds really good and we'll win social media, yay, we kept the guy, everybody's fired up, we will lose in the end every time, because that's how cultures get broken. And I want guys who 100%, want to be here, want to graduate from here, want to become a legend here, want to be here and come back to games like Scat's coming back for the Arizona game. I want guys who are vested in this place and want to be a part of it.
Hi, Kenny. Max Pitt at Walter Cronkite Sports Network. Focusing on the game at hand this week, two-parter real quick. Firstly, this is the second straight week you're facing a true freshman quarterback, with Julian Lewis making his first home start after what he did 2 weeks ago against the team you just played. And then secondly, with what you see on tape, what are maybe the positive things that this Colorado team does and what Coach Prime has been able to do? It's been a hard year for them for the most part. What have you just seen on tape from them as a whole and their quarterback?
Yeah, I think they play hard. I think their defensive line is good. I think they play hard. They get off the ball. Quarterback, he's a guy that I recruited for a little bit. I offered him at Oregon, and he's a really good player. You could tell he could locate the ball well, especially vertically down the field. And that showed up in the West Virginia game when he played, his ability to throw the ball vertically down the field. But I think this is a team that plays hard, and I think it shows up. They've had games that didn't go great, and then they had games where they, beat good teams. So we're no different. And we're here and then here and then here and then here. We can't just be good an entire game. So it's definitely a team that's dangerous.
Hey, Kenny, kind of bounce off that with Coach Prime, with what he's been able to do over the past couple of years. I know it's been a rough stretch recently, but I think he's increased the enrollment at Colorado by a significant percentage just as the student population as a whole, and what he's gone through with his health issues and things like that. I guess, what have you kind of taken from that and the way he's battled through everything?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool if you're looking at it from his perspective. Like, he's won 300% more games this year than the year before he took over. Pretty good. You know what I mean? So life's about relativity. So relative to when he took over that program is 300% better, not including what you just mentioned, just wins on the field. So, I mean, sometimes you got to put things in perspective. And I think he's done a great job there. I mean, people are talking about Colorado. Recruits want to go to Colorado. They've won, like I said, a high percentage more games with him than before him. So, I mean, and he's battled a bunch, and it just shows the type of person he is. He's a fighter and a winner, and that's shown up at Colorado since he's been there.
Coach, now Roseburg State Press. As someone who's been playing so well on defense, with Keyshawn also being on the leadership council, how big of an influence does he provide the rest of the defense and a lot of the younger guys?
Yeah, got engaged yesterday, by the way. Keyshawn Elliott. Yep, if you saw that on social media, congratulations. We should all thank his fiancée. She was a big reason he chose to come here. She had family or friends out here, right? So we should all, thank her and buy them baby shower gifts, or not baby shower gifts, wedding gifts. Sorry. You can buy me baby shower gifts. You can buy them wedding gifts. But no, it's pretty, he's done such a phenomenal job. I mean, talk about just an A-plus kid, A-plus player. I mean, he is everything you want in a football player that represents Arizona State, and he's playing at a super high level right now.
Coach, good afternoon. Andrew Hazlett, Devils in Detail. Now you've played all 15 other teams in the Big 12 as a head coach. Have you learned anything from playing them for your first go-around? Yeah,
it's tough because everybody's so much different. There's so many different play styles in this league. In other leagues, play styles are similar. Like, you're going to need a 4-down. They're going to jump to odd weak side overhang. They're going to play, 3-match. They're going to play man-free. They're going to bring simulated pressures, right? It's almost like you get a very similar picture every single week, and the challenge is how do you change how you attack a team is more the challenge. In this league, everybody's so much different. I mean, we really haven't played a team that's been the same defense or the same philosophy in back-to-back weeks yet. So it's literally you're going from how do you attack this team to how do you attack a completely different defense to how do you attack a completely different defense. I mean, just think of the last 3 weeks. I mean, this defense is truly pro-style, 4-down, literally straight from the NFL. They're kind of similar to us. Well, then last week you're talking Brent Venables' history, 4-down, 3-down, odd, gut cross, 4-down gut cross, double off the edge, like jump into 3-person overload with a backside 5 and a walk up. And then the week before that, it's like odd, 3-3-5, 3 high safety. So that's what we faced, 3 completely different defenses back to back. So what would I say my takeaway is from this league is it stretches across the country long enough or wide enough that there's so many different philosophies in each region to how to win. And you can see it all. It's almost so you get flavors of the week, which makes it, in my opinion, more difficult. And it's something that I'm going to look at. How are we going to do something different on offense, or what are we going to do in the offseason that gets us better prepared, because we can't possibly practice versus everything we see in this league. So what are we going to do offensively that has more simple answers potentially, as we move forward in this league that I'm learning?
Michelle Gardner, Arizona Republic. Coach, you've talked often about not putting all 3 phases of the game together, and really you kind of still haven't. So is that frustrating, or do you just kind of consider yourself fortunate you are where you are when you haven't done that, or is it frustrating?
Yeah, very. I don't consider ourselves fortunate because every game's hard to win, and we're winning. And a lot of people would like to win close games, right? And I don't think it's by luck. I'll say that. I think it's through the work and the relationships and the culture here, which is why we're winning these close games. But it's still very, very aggravating to not play a good football game. I don't know if we've played one good football game this year. and we're 7-3, and we've had all the injuries and all the things happen. I don't know if we played one good game in all 3 phases. And that just bothers the crap out of me because that's my goal every week is to play a good game in all 3 phases. And I don't think we've done that yet. And I keep challenging the guys like in the staff. This is the week. We got to put it all together. Got to play one clean game. And I thought it was going to be last week. You know, when we drove 65 yards and it was, what was a 12-point game, 22-9 or 22-10. Right, and it's a 12-point game. And we just drove 65 yards from the -1. We're about to convert, going a 99-yard drive to start the 3rd quarter, score a touchdown. Okay, this is our game. And then it's like, nope, fumble, score, all unravels, right? So I'm very frustrated by that, but I'm happy with where we're at, right? But you can be both. You can be happy with the result, but not happy with the process. And I would say that's where I am at.
Hey, Kenny, Luke Lundler, Sun Devil Source. You talked a lot about the upperclassmen and the veteran guys kind of stepping up. After fighting through injury earlier in the season, Justin Watley's picked up a sack in his last 3 games. Jordan Crook was recognized as Big 12 Co-Defensive Player of the Week. What have you seen in this veteran defense that's really grown as the season's gone on?
Yeah, I think different guys are stepping up in different games. And, I thought Watley had an unbelievable game last week. And his physicality is really showing up at the edge spot. So I just think it's different guys making plays every week. And that's usually what good teams do. We just got to get a whole team making plays in the same game. Instead of just a different guy, has a great game. It's got to be like, no, we got to have, 12 guys have really good games on both sides of the ball. So 6 on each side.
And you see these guys that are now kind of looking at what might happen to the next level as they graduate. You see these guys every day in practice. Scouts might not see them every day in practice. What do you see in them every day that you wish that more people could see?
They bring it and they love ball. And I think a lot of scouts have seen our guys. I mean, we've had multiple scouts here almost every single day looking at both sides of the ball. And I think they have seen our guys, but I think the passion they have for football, I think is something that you can't always see. They love football. They love competing. And, that's what excites me most about this team is we like football. And it sounds boring, but it's fun to coach people who like football.
Hey, Coach, Adam Keaton, Cronkite News. You made it a point a couple times now to bring up that Keith Abney is part of the Barrett Honors Program. Just wondering how guys like him have served as role models for the type of players you're trying to recruit into your program.
Yeah, I mean, we have 3. Our categories for people: be a good person, make good decisions, have more fun working harder than anybody in the country. Like, those are the goals. Those are who we recruit. He's a really good person. He makes good decisions. He has more fun working harder than anybody in the country. He's always smiling, right? Our goals for the football team are smart, tough, the ball of the team. And he's smart, very smart, tough, right? He attacks the ball, and he's all about the team. So I think what Keith does is he provides proof of concept that, smart guys win, smart guys are successful. And, we've got 9 in the Barrett, 8 or 9 in right now. And I think after this signing class, we're going to get near the 15 mark. I think by the end of this, by the 4th to 5th signing class, I'd be shocked if we're not in the 20 range or around the 20 range, which is about 20% of our team, hopefully, in the Barrett. And that doesn't mean a guy not in the Barrett is not smart, right? Some really smart guys choose to not go to the Barrett, so don't take that wrong. But I do like I like guys that are intelligent and that care, and their care level's high. And I think a lot of those people that can get into the Barrett, they just have a really high care level.
Kenny, it's expected to be sub 45-degree temperatures in Colorado this weekend. I know you guys were able to handle a similar temperature range in Iowa State, but is there any way to kind of prepare for that, or you just got to gut it out?
No, just got to rock and roll. I mean, I guess it'll be cold. So wear my hoodie and rock and roll.
Hey, Kenny, Cameron Cox, 12
Hey.
News. Real quick, your meeting Friday, was that planned or did that come about based on the things that were said on the radio?
I don't know how we had a meeting that Friday afternoon, so I don't know the planning of it or not. But like I said, it happened that afternoon around noon, and it was positive.
There we go. And then real quick, to follow up on all the NIL stuff, if you had a food item named after you, what would it be? You have
After me?
Yeah, like if somebody were to name something after you, what would you want? A hamburger, a wrap?
I mean, probably a cardiac burger or something, right?
What is on that?
Anything that causes you to sweat and that goes to the very end of your dinner to eat, right? Something along those lines. I think that's fair.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Number one, do you want to shout out to any people that are spending their money paying for their kid to go to Barrett?
Is that you?
Yeah, pretty much.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Number two, but more specifically, kind of on the cardiac burger thing, is I know there's not a coach that you're going to tell us who it is, but in your experience as an assistant, were there coaches that weren't great at game situations and late game practices? Sorry for the cheap compliment, but you guys keep winning these close games. You're clearly one of the best in the country at coaching the situations during the week. Where did you learn it? What did you work on? How have you refined to get there?
Yeah, I try to watch all the situations every single week. And, I try to go through, analytics, the end game, like not the moment, but like what 2 to 3 moves, like chess, like kicking the extra point or going for 2. You talk about the end game. Well, the end game started when we went up by 12, not 11. Because if we're only up by 11 and they score at the end, they're up 2. They kick an extra point. Now they go up 3. So our last drive, we're down 3, not 1. That all started when we went for 2 and converted. That's what caused them to go for 2. So I think the end game starts at the beginning of the game in some ways. And then you've got to be able to, when you get to the end of the game, communicate. And we communicate a ton with our players and staff in terms of, in this situation, this is what an offense is going to do, or this is what they think. So we should already be a step ahead, and this is what a defense thinks, and we show the clips. And we try to get our guys really, really wired to situational football. Some people say I overkill it, to be honest. They're like, you're doing too much information. They can't process it. And my deal is, like, I'd rather overkill it. And if one person take something from it, I hope we don't confuse the other guys, but if that one person learns something from it, it could help us. And then we have players that win. At the end of the day, the players go out there and they win the game, and not the coach. And they go out there and they execute, they study, they learn, and they're ready for those situations, and they go and get it done.
And what'd your wife say about, don't tell me about the pain, show me the baby?
Nothing. I don't know if she saw it. Like I said, she only gets her information from my sister. So I don't think my sister sent it to her yet. I'll probably hear about that in the next. I'm usually like 48 hours behind, delayed by the time the communication happens in my family.
We're all good.
Thank you.